But we did have some people mail in some questions. We opened up the DMs and people brought in the questions. So what's our first question from our loyal viewers, and who's it from?
All right, our first question here today is from Everett Henry, who is definitely the description of a loyal viewer, always the comment section, always in the live chat. He says, "Dear Off the Bench, the Cincinnati Bengals are running me through a gamut of emotions since I could ever remember, from the pain of the Steelers' playoff loss to the joy of Evan McPherson, whose right leg is a weapon of mass destruction, kicking the game-winning field goal to send our Bengals to the Super Bowl. At one time, I thought the Bengals were going to win multiple Super Bowls with Joe Burrow, but now I'm not so sure. Can you help me find cause for optimism in this town? P.S. I love the golf content," from Trace.
Oh, yeah, the golf content is really good, and Everett has been very supportive of the golf content. So, Everett, you're wondering if there is any reason to be optimistic about the Bengals going forward. Yeah, they're 2-0. If you want the optimistic spin, I've done this now, and it's the day 3 of this. Jake Browning's 5-3 as a quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. Can he bridge the 3-month gap? Not exactly what you want out of a backup quarterback, but can you bridge a 3-month gap to keep the Bengals around playoff contention? And hopefully Joe Burrow's surgery is a success. Hopefully rehabbing is a success, and he comes back ready to play in the middle of December. There is cause for optimism. I talked to Stone on Monday, and that's when it kind of hit him, this Joe Burrow news. It's hitting me right now, if I'm being honest with it. Like, I just started thinking, man, what if we do lose this Sunday? Then it feels like the Monday Night Football game in Denver is a must-win, because I don't see a whole lot of wins for the next few weeks after that, between playing the Detroit Lions and playing the Green Bay Packers, and just kind of a really tough stretch after that. So the cause for optimism is this. They're 2-0. They have 3 games at the end of the season that should be wins. That's 5 wins. Can we get 5 and 7 from the other 12 with Jake Browning and or a healthy Joe Burrow if he comes back? And if we get in the postseason, that's all it takes, baby. Let Joe cook in the postseason. So that's the only optimism I can find. Hopefully it finds you. Next mailbag question.
Next mailbag question is from a player formerly known as Mouse Cop. Dear OTB, I'm a diehard Chicago Bears and Cleveland Browns fan.
That's a double whammy. That's a double whammy.
You can be a diehard fan of 2 professional football teams.
He is. He dies hard with both those squads.
Right. Fair play. Fair play, Mouse Cop. My Sundays revolve around watching these 2 teams continue to tear up the NFL, just as they have my entire life.
They have done that. Yes. No doubt about it.
That being said, Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson haven't had the marriage I would have hoped for. Do you think the structured style of the Ben Johnson offense and the ad-lib ability of Caleb Williams jives? Hashtag Wes Miller the GOAT. We just kind of brought that up actually during our headline segment. Now we're kind of circling it back to it here with Mouse Cop's question. What is your response, reader?
Wes Miller to GOAT, did not expect that from a player formerly known as Mouse Cop. He was also talking yesterday about how there's going to be a cookout in Clifton in 2026 that he's really excited for. So that dude's just revolving around the Clifton scene. It's pretty clear that Ben Johnson's offense is very on script. You see this with like Kyle Shanahan. Like Kyle Shanahan has never had an overly talented quarterback between Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy and now Mac Jones. And it's never been an overly talented, but they're able to succeed because they just run their play. Same with Ben Johnson. Jared Goff's a really good quarterback. He's not overly talented, and it seemed like they worked best when, hey, Jared Goff, this is the play, run the play. Caleb Williams, kind of an ad-libber, right? He kind of likes to play his style of offense where he just it's like jazz almost, right? Ben Johnson doesn't call it jazz offense. He doesn't. Just run the play and get it. But I said this earlier, Ben Johnson chose to go to Chicago because he saw the talent that was there. He saw the talent that was there at the quarterback position. I think it's going to take a while. I don't like what I'm seeing from just kind of their personalities meshing. It doesn't seem like their personalities are meshing very well. Obviously, the Ben Johnson quotes about him talking about Tyson Bagent and the backup quarterback glowing about him seemed a little weird. It's like, what are you doing here? Like, you should be gassing up your starting quarterback, not your backup quarterback. But we'll continue to see. I don't think Caleb Williams played necessarily bad this past Sunday. I think the Bears just might be bad. It's 2 weeks into the season. We'll see. Give it time. Give it time. I know timelines on quarterbacks have shrunk over the last decade. You used to get like 3 years as a starting quarterback. Now it seems like you get a year and a half. You get like by Thanksgiving in year 2. I think it's going to take more time. He's essentially learning a new system in his second year as a time. I think it's going to work out. I think Ben Johnson's a great mind. I think Caleb Williams is a fantastic talent. I think it's going to work out.
All right, question number 3 here from Mark Fetters, Dear Reed Stone, and maybe, just maybe, Trace Cameron Fowler. Elly De La Cruz graded out as one of the best shortstops in the league in 2024. This year has been one of the worst. Knowing that shortstop is a premium position and understanding how valuable defense and run prevention is for the Reds going forward, do you see him moving positions? Also, where are my pants?
Yeah, Mark's always trying to find his pants. Put on those pants, Mark. Here's the thing about Elly De La Cruz. Leads the league in errors, right? He's in the bottom 10% for starting shortstops in outs above average, defensive runs saved. It hasn't been good this year at shortstop. But in years past, we saw him, grade very highly. The errors were always there, but he was making plays that few other shortstops in the league, if any other shortstops in the league, can make. I don't think you move Elly De La Cruz yet. You give him one more year at shortstop because we've now seen one good year, one terrible year. What are we seeing? Can he get that quad healthy? Can he play another year and see if we get him back? I would say this, if the Reds had a solution there, like if they had someone ready to go at shortstop, like let's say Matt McClain was coming up through the ranks, who was a shortstop in college and, was a great player and everything like that. He's ready to play. Let's just plug and play him. I think then you'd move Elly De La Cruz, but the heir apparent isn't there. You don't know who can play. It's not like they can just, we got this guy. We'll just plug him in and we'll move Elly out to right field. He can just worry about hitting and putting more power into the bat and not have to worry about playing shortstop. So, in short, you give him one more year and you start looking, I think you start thinking about it. We've got to get somebody at the shortstop position, whether it be in free agency, and it's not like those guys typically are very expensive. You're going to have to get kind of a stopgap, or you're going to have to get a defensive specialist at shortstop that isn't going to help the problem with this team, which is offense. So you give him another year, but if it's next year's as bad as it was this year or anywhere near that, then I think you shift him out into right field.
Final question from our good friend Alex Wallace. Second to last question. From Alex Wallace. Dear Chatterbox Sports, in my opinion, the Tush Push is a disgrace to televised sports. When the ultimate goal is put on an entertaining product, the Tush Push continues to be a drag and borderline unwatchable. Do you see a world in which the NFL will ban the play? Also, this November, get out to the polls. A blue wave is coming.
Did not see that coming from Alex Wallace. Did not. Politics here on Off the Bench. Did not see that. No one knows my politics. They obviously, this past offseason, talked about the Tush Push. That was something that was in the meetings from the ownership group, and they eventually agreed, all right, we'll continue to run this play. We'll continue to have this play. I will tell you, as a fan of the NFL, horrendous. Golly, is it boring. It is genuinely terrible to watch. It makes when the Eagles play, I don't want to call it unwatchable, but it makes it so much less fun on those third and fourth down, because that is oftentimes when you're watching a game like, big play here, big play. It's 4th and 1. You're just like, okay, whatever. And the big pushback that I've always gotten about, that saying like it's not fun is tough luck. You can run it. You don't run it as well as we do. We can run the play. You cannot. And that's a fair argument, right? You shouldn't be punished for doing something better than everybody else. Other teams have tried this tush push, and it's just not as good, whether it be because their quarterback isn't as strong. Have you watched an Eagles game without them bringing up how much Jalen Hurts squats? It's like watching a show of Off the Bench without me bringing up that my dad was a coach or that I played baseball at one point. Like it's just inevitable. But I think they finally started to see a way in which they can ban it. Not to put on a conspiracy hat here, but it was clear that there was, a false start from the Eagles. And you go back and watch older plays, and they've been doing this a lot. And do the referees in Eagles games get a push from Roger Goodell, who I assume wants to ban it because he's always proactive as a commissioner in wanting to put the best, most entertainment-friendly product out on the field to go like, hey, can we start throwing flags on that tush push? Can you just hey, 3rd and 1, boom, false start, offsides, whatever you need to do. All right, now it's 3rd and 6, and they got to run a different play. And they just kind of negate it that way. But I do think that this will probably be the final year of the tush push because I think it is wearing on all spectators, being like, man, this is just not fun whatsoever to watch. I cannot continue to watch this sport. It's 3rd and 1. It's not fun. 4th and 1. It's not, even if you stop it one time, you can't stop it twice. And for the people that go like, it's a legal play. It's a legal play. You can't ban a legal play. There was, and I can't confirm if this is true. I might have gotten that Brian Kelly story wrong earlier, by the way. That might have been Nick Saban. I don't know. But there's a story, and I can't confirm if this is true. I know that they, in the NBA, when Wilt Chamberlain played, he used to just swat balls out of the air all the time, and then they're like, all right, you can't do that. It's goaltending. So they changed the rule because of this unique talent that was Wilt Chamberlain. I recently heard that they had to change the free throw rule for Wilt Chamberlain because he would just dunk free throws. You just jump from you just get a run, jump from the free throw line and dunk it. And they're like, well, you can't do that anymore. It's illegal. So it's not like we've seen rules changed in sports to combat one person dominating. Famously in 1968 in baseball, they had to lower the baseball mound because Bob Gibson had like a 1.16 ERA through like 24 shutouts in one season. They're like, okay, we can't keep doing this. We got to change the rules. So while it is unfair, it's probably not fair for the Eagles that they have this unique talent. They have this unique play that no one else can seemingly run as well as they can. Sometimes you just got to do something for the greater good of the sport, and that is you got to ban the play.
Final mailbag question here today from Molly. Dear Yahoos from Hamilton, Tom Brady was seen in the coach's box with a headset on during the Raiders game. With the access that broadcasters get during the week of games, does this seem like a conflict of interest for Tom Brady, the Raiders, and the NFL? P.S. Tom is very hot.
Yeah, Molly, I thought you were a Joey Votto guy. Joey Votto gal, my bad. Not a Tom Brady. Yeah, it's Tom. I don't know how that plays out. I don't know how that finishes. I don't know how this whole situation kind of unveils itself. Because when you are a broadcaster, you get to meet up with coaches, owners, players. You get to kind of have access to the team. And then they show him he's and this was a big story when he first took over as minor ownership stake for the Raiders. They were like, hey, are we going to allow you to broadcast games and kind of have insight to how a team runs itself? Maybe teams just shun Tom Brady and don't give him any insight to the team whatsoever if he's going to continue to be up in the booth for the Raiders games. Tom Brady's never been one to follow the rules. Bill got a lot of flack for breaking some rules. I think Tom was breaking some rules too. He was a part of it there. So I just don't think they can let it happen. He's either got to give up, and this is I genuinely believe that he's either got to not be a broadcaster or he can't have ownership in the Raiders. You can't do both. Because if they start shunning him out of locker rooms and not letting him talk to coaches, then he's not going to be doing his job well as a broadcaster, a job that Fox is giving him $350 million to do over the next 10 years. $375 million. Or he can't do the job well. But you also can't have him asking questions and then reporting back to the Raiders and going like, hey, I heard so-and-so is doing this. Hey, they don't feel really confident about their safety. Hey, they don't feel like maybe we can exploit that. Like, it seems like a conflict of interest that I'm just not sure is going to play out well. Like one thing's going to have to come. Either he's going to have to give up his broadcasting duties or he's going to have to give up his ownership stake. Do I think either one of those things are going to happen? No, I think it's just going to continue going on, and we're just going to forget about this in a week, but it just doesn't seem fair.